Hello everyone, I'm Jewel and welcome back to my channel. So before I even get started introducing today's video, I want to apologize. This video is much later than I had hoped it would be, and the reason is that I got sick. And one of my symptoms is that I entirely lost my voice. I couldn't even talk, let alone record. So that's also the reason my voice might sound a bit scratchy in this video. I hope it's not too noticeable. Anyway, welcome to another Marvel Rivals video. So in my previous Rivals essay, I talked about several different characters in the game, but I want today's essay to be about one girl. Well, two. Wanda and I. If you've seen my other Rivals essay, you know that I am a witch main, and I'm proud to be a witch main. Obviously, I adore Luna, she's my channel icon for a reason, but I don't think you could make me pick between Luna and Wanda. I love them both, they're my besties. However, there is a reason I actively call myself a witch main, not a Luna main, and today I want to explore that reason. It's been a year since I picked up Marvel Rivals, or when I started this script it was, but about a year since I fell in love with Wanda and christened myself a witch main. I already loved Wanda in the MCU, and seeing her design in Rivals just sealed the deal of who I would main in this game. I remember a year ago, back in Season 0, when everyone thought everyone was strong, people thought Wanda was strong, and I thought she was strong. People called Wanda a tank buster, which sounds laughable today, but back then she was, because her M1 attack was percentage based rather than the flat rate it is today. Her ultimate back then was even more pathetic than it is now, but I liked the challenge of trying to find situations where I could get value with it. I liked using her floating ability to rain fire down on enemy supports in the backline, using her fade and float abilities to harass Iron Men in the sky, and all just being the Scarlet Witch. I think that time was the most fun I've had playing Marvel Rivals. But then, I don't really remember when it started, but people started trying to rank the characters, put them in tier lists and such. And people started putting Wanda in the lowest of low tiers, in F tier or in D tier, just because they wanted to make it clear that Black Widow was the worst hero in the game. And there's nothing wrong with that. Well, putting Wanda higher just to make Widow lower feels scummy to me, but none of these people were saying that Witch or Widow players are evil or stupid or anything. They were just ranking the characters, not passing judgment on players. But suddenly, Witch players started getting treated worse. We were called stupid, useless, and other terms that I won't repeat. People said that we were so bad at the game that we needed a character that required no skill to play. And that really hurt me, because there are plenty of methods of skill expression one can use when playing Wanda. The volatility of her ultimate is proof of that. You could get a Hexa, or you could get a few people, or you could get no one. Or you could die before the ult has even finished casting. But I knew what people were talking about. It was Wanda's auto-aim that made everyone think they were better than us witch mains. Everyone was convinced and is still convinced that no aim required equals no skill required, which isn't true. There are so many other forms of skill expression than just aim, like positioning, or movement, or game sense, or ult economy. And even in terms of aim, Wanda does require aim. Her M1 does negligible damage, as it should. I mostly use it to finish off low health enemies and to power her M2s, which is where the majority of her damage comes from. If you can't land her M2s, you're missing out on so much damage. You can't carry with Wanda just using her M1. If Wanda really required no skill, then it would be easy to rank up with her, because you could get value with her no matter how poorly you played. But that's not the case. It's hard to rank up with Wanda. I think the worst it got for me personally was when I saw people calling Wanda the character for girls who don't play video games and want an auto-aim, no-skill character so they can play a game to get their boyfriend's attention. That really stung. 800 hours in the game, several characters got into Lord, and I just want my boyfriend's attention, huh? Cool. During this time period's high-level play, Wanda was only played during the first 30 seconds of the first fight, sitting inactive in the spawn room to give Magneto their team up for the first engagement. Then they immediately swapped to Luna since she can get to the fight quickly. But once that team up was taken away, then what? Wanda was buffed and nerfed a lot over the next several months. They tried to make her ultimate easier to use by making her faster during it, by adding overhealth and other micro adjustments. They nerfed the damage of her M1, they nerfed her Fade ability, which took me multiple seasons to get used to, by the way. The alleged worst hero in the game just kept getting nerfs. And then the thing that irritated me beyond anything else. The dev stated that Wanda, along with some other heroes, weren't performing well and was getting some buffs. Great. What kinds of buffs, you ask? She got a team up. A team up. That's not a buff. That's a team up. That said, the Strange team up was good for Wanda. It just frustrated me because it didn't actually make Wanda herself better or stronger. It just made her more viable if you can get a Strange on your team. And then the next half season, they nerfed the team up anyway. It was just frustrating and insulting. But thanks to this team up, Wanda started being viable in high-level play again. People stopped putting her at the bottom of every single tier list, and now she was only at the bottom of some tier lists. Most others put her at around C tier, which is a win in my book. I'm really jealous of Rocket and Jeff. They were considered the worst strategists in the game for a while, but have risen and fallen and risen again and again in the hearts of Rivals players. Wanda has just been consistently low tier, and consistently hated. In Season 5.0, I had long lost any hope for Wanda buffs beyond micro adjustments to her ultimate and half-hearted attempts to make it less of a joke. I was content with Wanda's position in the tier lists. She wasn't the strongest by any means, but she could work. She was considered a viable pick. Wanda mains weren't hated nearly as aggressively. However, for the first time, I really felt the gap. I felt fettered by the damage Wanda just didn't have. I found myself picking up Phoenix in desperate attempts to win games. I was by no means any good with her, but she was better than Wanda. In the 5.0 meta, healing was just so strong that I just could not secure any kills with Wanda. I felt stuck. I remember one time in particular, I was taking an off angle and trying to pick off the enemy team's supports. No one was looking at me. I sat there for several seconds and no one noticed me as I tried and failed to kill anyone. No one even looked at me. And why would they? I clearly wasn't a threat. I was so fed up that I vowed to switch to Psylocke next time I died, which I didn't die, so who knows what would have happened. Maybe I'd be a Psylocke main today. But I felt so frustrated. For the first time in my almost a year of playing Wanda, I was frustrated with her lack of damage. It had never held me back before. So when Season 5.5 rolled out and I saw the multiple substantial Wanda buffs, I was literally screaming. I had given up hope. I had thought they were scared of Wanda being too strong, since they had nerfed her team up with Strange. But these changes were not micro adjustments to her ultimate, they weren't side grades, and they weren't nerfs. These buffs just feel fair. They didn't buff the part of her kit everyone hates so much, the sip auto-aim stuff. They buffed the actually strong part of her kit, her M2s and her stun. As I've said, the majority of Wanda's damage comes from her M2s, so having those more frequently off cooldown and having her stun be easier to control feels like a really nice, substantial, but a fair buff. I can stun people out of their ultimates with her Dark Seal now. Before, the delay between cast and stun was just so long that if you stunned people out of their ults, it was pure coincidence. But now you can actually use it reactively to stun people out of their ultimates. It's not easy. It's definitely easier to use Penny's or Luna's or even Rogue's or Emma's stuns, but it can be done. Mostly I've been using her Dark Seal to prevent enemies from retreating. If a tank overextends, they will die, since my bubble delays their retreat and they can't defend themselves as the rest of my team closes in on them. Unless they're an Emma and they pop diamond form, of course. As you can tell, I've had a blast playing Wanda these past few weeks. I've really felt the difference these buffs make. They feel so freeing. The damage gap was closing. I could get kills again. I felt like I could finally keep up with the Psylocks and Punishers and Buckies and Phoenixes again. But it's still really hard. Wanda is still one of the characters with the lowest damage output in the game. If she's not the character with the lowest damage output, I'm not sure about the actual numbers. Wanda was actually bugged for like 6 hours of Season 5.5. In the early access build that streamers and content creators got access to, her charge speed for her M2s was bugged and would generate charges way faster than they were supposed to be charging. Flats still has a video posted of his games playing Wanda during the early access build, and I want that back. Don't get me wrong, I am happy with the buffs we got. Like I said, I had lost hope of them ever buffing her. And I stand by my claim that these buffs make a difference. I can feel it. But after seeing what could have been, like, what's the harm? The alleged power creep this season is so bad anyway. What could buffing Wanda to oblivion possibly do? The streamers had her for early access and they didn't even realize she was broken. Do these buffs make Wanda stronger than the Psylocks, Punishers, Buckies, and Phoenixes? No. Not even bugged Wanda could beat the S-tier heroes. I don't know if Wanda will ever be S-tier without either a rework or absolutely unfair buffs. But I'm not asking for her to be S-tier. I've never wanted that. I've been asking for her to be viable, and now she is. In fact, she always has been. The only thing that's been preventing me from playing Wanda has been my own fears of people's opinions of me and my enslavement to the meta. And that is the reason I actively call myself a witch main. People have called me nasty things for being a witch main, but I own it and am proud of it. I am a witch main. I will make Wanda work no matter the meta, no matter the buffs or nerfs, no matter the team-ups. I am stronger than the current of the meta, and I'm not a slave to what it dictates I run. I'm not saying I don't want witch buffs, obviously, I just went through that whole thing. I'm just saying it doesn't matter if they buff or nerf Wanda next half season. I will love her S or F tier. Now, as I have said, a lot of the heat has been taken off Wanda mains lately. The downside to that, though, is that it's being applied to other players. For example, Squirrel Girl has gotten a lot of hate for being an alleged no-skill character. Sound familiar? I personally think that every character has their own form of skill expression, large or small, and I don't think anyone deserves to be shamed for the characters they play. However, I'm by no means saying that people can't hate the characters they hate. For example, back when he was super strong, I hated Black Panther. I hate him less now just because I'd never see him played anymore, but back then, oh man, I hated him. I banned him every game. Back then, the only way to counter BP was to see him coming, and even that wasn't enough sometimes. So I hated BP. But you know who I didn't hate? The people who play him. I actually had compassion for BP mains because I know something of what it's like to have your favorite character be one of the most vocally hated. I understand some of the frustration of your main being so frequently banned because Emma and Penny are my main tanks, and it's endlessly frustrating to need to flex tank and not be able to play the tanks I'm most comfortable with because they're some of the most commonly banned characters in the game. So I have compassion for BP mains. But I wish that poor Squirrel Girl mains could catch a break. Perhaps they, like me, play Doreen because they love Squirrel Girl, not because they want a quote zero-skill character. So nowadays I play Wanda when I can, but most of the time 2 or 3 insta-locked DPS who refuse to switch prevent me from doing so. It was all I could do to get footage for this video. I'll usually swap off because I actually want to win, but I'm getting sick of having to flex. I understand why people want to play DPS, it's the most fun category to play by far, and it's the easiest. In my opinion, DPS is the easiest role to play. You have one job: kill. Of course, I understand it's not that simple. You need to balance securing kills and not dying and finding off angles and knowing when to dive and when to ult and when to contest and when to retreat and a ton of other things. But when you're playing DPS, you're fairly independent. As a support main, I am used to the entire team depending on me. I can always tell if we have a good player on our team because they hardly ever need me to bail them out of bad situations. If I divert my attention from the front line to, say, deal with a diver, I have about 5 seconds to deal with it and refocus before our tanks fall over because they don't understand how to play without me babysitting them. And if I don't ult at the perfect time, it's pretty much GG. As a Luna main, I hate Luna's ultimate. It's super strong and I wish it wasn't. Do you understand how stressful it is to be the Luna main and have your ultimate charged? That thing determines fights. I get so psyched out thinking about how the outcome of the next fight will be determined by if I press Q at the right time, that I get paralyzed, don't press Q, and die with my ult charged. And since Gambit has been added to my list of support mains, that paralysis comes with his ultimate too. But with Wanda, total freedom. The fight is not determined by if I press Q at the right time. As long as I don't die casting it, I count that as a successful ult. Like, yes, I should be looking for ults and trying to use them, but the team is not waiting for me to press Q and tracking the number of times I press it and telling me I need to press it and that I suck for not pressing it at the time they thought I should. Huh? No, I'm not stressed. Why do you ask? Wanda's ultimate is quite, let's call it situational. I typically use it in a couple of scenarios. Scenario 1, we are locked in a support ultimate stalemate. This won't always work, like if they have multiple people who can cancel your ult with a CC ability, then there's a good chance you won't get the cast off. But if you have good cover, or if you have a mag bubble or a Sue shield, you'll make the enemy do one of two things. They either die, or they retreat, giving up space and allowing your tanks and fellow DPS to follow up on your play and secure the kills you couldn't. Scenario 2, I hear us against the world. Again, this won't always work. If Cloak gets a mag bubble, it likely won't work. If Cloak can get to cover, it likely won't work. Or if you don't press Q quick enough, then they'll be able to use Cloak's Fade ability and will survive the pure chaos. But if none of those things happen, one of two things will happen. They will either die or retreat, and the ult will either be nullified or be made half as useful, and they won't be able to take nearly as much space. Scenario 3, Cheeky Strange Portal. This one is the most fun. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes a Strange will put a portal right in the middle of a fight, and as I respawn and go to rejoin the fight, I can use my ultimate at spawn so no one hears me, and no one's expecting the nuke to pop through the portal and end everyone. I'm sure you've seen tons of compilations of this on TikTok and YouTube and wherever. But this play comes with some risk though, since you don't know what's going on the other side of the portal. Maybe no one's grouped up around the portal and you're ulting no one. Or maybe everyone's paying attention to the portal and everyone notices the red exclamation point over Wanda curled up in the fetal position, and the Penny or Luna have their stun off cooldown. There are just so many different variables that you can't guarantee the portal trick will work 100% of the time. Scenario 4, my spider sense is tingling. There are some instances where I'm struck with inspiration. Things are desperate and I need to make a play. A situation where I need to take a risk to secure a win. I'll try and take an angle the enemy isn't expecting so they have less time to react to me, or I'll see my Strange going to Eye of Agamotto and I'll pop my ult first to follow up on his, or my Thing ult, or my Emma. Basically any CC ultimate Wanda combos really well with. But the one thing that Wanda's ult does consistently is it puts pressure on the enemy team. They either need to kill you, stun you, or retreat. Wanda's ult puts players on the defense and pulls out important cooldowns, which can be really valuable if your team follows up on it. Say I ult, and the enemy Emma pops diamond form and tries to grab me out of my ult. Whether or not I actually get the ult off, I've still taken that important ability out of play. I've pulled the team's attention and given my tank space to move up and my fellow DPS space to make a play of their own. But however I use Wanda's ultimate, I do not use it lightly. You are just so vulnerable during that 4-second cast time that you don't want to pop that bad boy just whenever it charges. You need to be thoughtful, conniving, and/or pocketed. And I do not press Q unless I'm confident that I can survive. Uptime is just so much more valuable than getting big kills in this game. Anyway, I went to all this detail just to share with you how I as a witch main think of and use Wanda's ultimate. I've been called stupid for being a witch main, so I wanted to share how much thought us witch mains actually put into our ults. We don't just press Q whenever the shiny button lights up. Also, do not misunderstand me and think that I am by any means defending her ultimate or saying it's actually OP. Far from it. Wanda's ult is actually so difficult to get value with these days that I would not say no to a rework. For her entire kit, not just her ultimate. Like, when I saw their original design for Wanda had her hurling pieces of the terrain at enemies, I about started crying thinking about the sip BS that we have for her primary now. I'm not entirely happy with any ideas I come up with for reworks for Wanda. I've heard people say they should just up Wanda's M1 damage and make it not auto-aim. I'd be okay with that. I've heard some people want to make Wanda's M2 into her primary fire and make her strange team up into just her base M2 ability. I don't really like that idea. I do love the idea of her chthonic burst being her primary fire, but I think she would need a max ammo of like 3 or 4 like Bucky has to feel fair. But making the team up her M2 cooldown feels like overkill, almost. But you know what? Screw it. At this point, I'll try anything. What's the worst that could happen anyway? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not entirely happy with any of those ideas. And as much as I like the recent buffs, Wanda is still struggling to keep up with everyone. I mean, the buffs are not a rework, and her ultimate still continues to struggle. I would love to hear your guys' ideas for a Wanda rework in the comments. I think it's doubtful she's ever gonna get a rework anyway, so we might as well dream, right? Okay, so in my last Rivals video, I talked a lot about skins. Obviously, that was kind of the whole point of the video. And I brought up how Wanda has 0 sexualizing skins. None. Not one. Zip, zilch, nada, niente, nothing. And I think it bears mentioning in this video that Wanda has gotten a new skin in the Battle Pass for Season 5, and... I should have known it was too good to last. I'm kidding, of course. Buy the sexy Wanda skin if you want it. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. I'm just happy I have plenty of non-sexualizing skins to choose from for her. I actually feel so lucky in my selection of Wanda skins, which again is a huge reason I play her because I love her visual design. But I mean, look at these skins! Her base skin is super pretty. She has not 1, not 2, but 3 legendary skins, and some characters in the game don't even have 1. I have so many pretty, non-sexualizing skins to pick from. They're all so pretty, and only one of them is super male-gazy. You know, in my opinion. I love her zombie skin too. It's so cool and metal, and I love the modifier on her voice. My favorite ult line in the game is Wanda's. It's just so angry and guttural and powerful sounding. So adding that undead effect over it just makes it that much more metal.
Magneto raised me to never stop fighting for what I believe is right. Goodbye for now. Thank you, my friend. Nice to see you. Hello.
Pure chaos! I got another one.
And that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about Wanda. Now that it's been a year, I wanted to document my journey with her and with the game. I wanted to explore the reason I actively call myself a witch main despite having several mains, and I wanted to share my opinion on the recent buffs. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate you sticking around to listen to me yap about video games. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all later. After I have rested my voice, because I just spent the entire day talking to myself in my room, and I'm sure this won't impact the speed of my recovery at all. Okay, bye.